Welcome to BGTU YouTube. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the three types of technical analysis and what they look like on the charts. So I am here on the weekly chart, and the first one, only because it's the easiest one for me, I'm going to talk about is price action. So price action is kind of a broad category, but the main idea is it's the study of price movements and understanding why price moves the way that it does. And so this is probably one of the harder of the three to really learn and master. And I don't even really want to say master because no matter how well you know any of this, there's always room for improvement. So we're going to start with price action. And it's basically understanding what these candlesticks are telling you. You don't use indicators, you don't use anything, you basically use the price and you attempt to understand what price is saying. So such as this candle here. This candle is basically telling me that the bulls pushed the price up, and let me open this up so you could see it. The bulls really pushed this price up, but the bears were up here waiting. And when they got there, the bears actually pushed the price back down. So even though that is a green candle, it is a very bearish candle. We can see the next candle actually showed that bearish move down. So it's understanding where that is. In the scope of the chart. So there's a lot of pieces that go into price action, but basically it's learning how to read the price without the indicators for the most part. The second one we're going to look at is basic charting. So this is what most people do. Now you got to remember, years ago when they even came up with this, there were not computers. And so people would actually have these papers with the chart and they would chart what they see. So basic charting is going to give me support and resistance. So for support, I'm looking at areas where price have reject in the past, which means if price gets up here again, it's a good chance it can reject. I can see in the past, it also was support for price here, and this was actually on the way up. So it broke resistance here. That resistance became support. When it came back, it did break through, but price played around at this area and acted as support or resistance at some point of time in the past. So those are some of the things you're going to look at. You're also going to look at swings. So here is a swing. And we're in a downtrend. So let me identify the downtrend for this ticker. So we're in a downtrend. I'm just going to draw these lines. I'm going to take this one off for now. And we are basically in a downtrend. So price is trending down. And what I'm looking for is swing highs and swing lows. So over here, I have what's called a higher high. And then here I have what's called a lower high. And then I've got a lower high. Sorry, this one's a lower low. That's a lower low. So now I have a lower high, meaning this high is lower than that high. And I can do the same here. This is a lower high. And I want to make sure. So the high of this candle is 266.79. The high of this candle is 248. And so I want to mark my lower low. So this low is lower than this low. Now, this is where it gets tricky because I still have a lower low right here. Excuse me, higher low, lower high. I get all those confused sometimes. And then now I have this lower low. But what happens here, so I have a trend that's showing me a downtrend. I have a higher high where I made a lower high, a lower high, a lower high. lower low, lower low, lower low. So all this was being done manually. So very, you have to really know what you were doing. I mean, just like now, it makes it a little bit easier to do, but all this was being drawn on a chart. And so I have my support and resistance levels. So I can see price was supported around here. I can go back. So always look left for support and resistance. I can see another area possibly where price was supported around in here. That was the one we had earlier. So I have a downtrend with some support and resistance. And I have my higher highs and lower highs and my lower lows. So all of this was being done manually. And that is basically what basic charting is. And so we get into the last one, and I'm just going to delete all of this. 13 drawings. So cleared that off. So the last one is looking at technical indicators. And this is where you guys come in and you add your moving averages, you add your Bollinger Bands. Volume is a technical indicator, but you add these things, but notice how this chart's getting a little ridiculous right now. But you use these as support or resistance and or resistance. Bollinger Bands, which are the white ones, and mine are modified. You can modify any of this. So my Bollinger Bands in general tell you how much volatility is in the market. So when these start getting close together, such as right here, at some point you're looking for a breakout to the bottom or to the top. So, and you may see that better on, you can see it really good on these smaller time frames. I'm now on the 4 hour. So when those bands compress, at some point, we're looking for a breakout. We had a breakout here. We actually have these bands in compression here. We had a breakout here. They're compressing again. A breakout here. They're compressing again. So we can break out above or lower. So that's going to show you compression. I'm going to turn the Bollinger Bands off. And I'm actually going to turn off the shorter time frame. Excuse me, longer. So now I just have my 8 and 21 EMA. You can use 8, 5, 10, 13, 20, 21, 38, like whatever works for you, you can use it. You can change these colors to anything you want. And typically you are looking for the shorter one is going to give you short-term momentum, and the little bit longer one is going to give you a longer-term momentum. And this should actually kind of help you say which way is the stock going right now. Even though overall we are in a downtrend on this stock, right now we're actually in an uptrend on this time frame for the time being. So you want to be able to use those indicators to kind of help you. A couple of other ones that people like to use are MACD, the moving average convergence divergence. You have 2 EMAs and you're looking for them to converge, which is come together, or diverge, which is move apart. And then we also have our RSI, relative strength index, that tells us if a stock is overbought or oversold. So it just depends. Now, to use all of these at the same time, in my opinion, is a lot, because no matter what, your brain has to filter all this information. And if you are trying to trade, say on the 15-minute time frame, you are trying to filter, are these Bollinger Bands compressing or expanding? Are my EMAs crossing? Where are they? Are they going up? Are they going down? Is my volume up or down? Is the MACD crossing up or down, converging, diverging? RSI, am I overbought, oversold? So if you have, I have one, so if I look at this, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 Bollinger Bands, 5, 6, 7, 8, which are my different EMAs. So I have 8 pieces of information on here that my brain has to process in order to say, should I enter or not enter this trade? So technical indicators are great, but you need to minimize how many you're using so that it becomes easier and quicker for you to make better trading decisions, which is why I like price action. I don't really use indicators simply because for me, they were a distraction. But hopefully this helps you clear up what the types of technical analysis are, what they look like, and hopefully how you can use them in your charting to help you get into high probability trades. Please like and subscribe to this channel. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments and I'll be sure to take the time and answer your questions and or comments.